So is there a difference between remote viewing and astral projection? I get this question a lot, and yes, there is a very important distinction between the two, and this is a very fascinating topic, so let's discuss it. When I was on Archaics the other day with Jason Brashears, we talked about this, and I got a lot of comments and questions afterwards, so I thought I'd do a little video follow-up. So here's my personal experience, my personal take on the matter. Yours might be different, but here's how I would describe, let's say, start with astral projection. Astral projection is going to be in a more deeper state of meditation and relaxation, probably more of a theta brainwave state. It helps to be sleepy, like either going to sleep or you wake up in the middle of the night to go pee or something, and you can really do this like phenomenally then. You can get to the point where you can do it in the middle of the day. It's just a little bit harder. It's a lot easier to piggyback off of your sleepy state. So what I do is I visualize a light body overlaid on my physical body, and that's my astral body. And then I use the rope method, and I pretend there's a rope coming out of the ceiling, and I pull myself out of my body. And now you have this surrogate body. You have this light body so that your left brain doesn't freak out and think, oh, where's my body? You have this light body, and then that's what you move through the astral plane. The astral plane is just going to be, at first, you're usually confined to the physical realm because of fear. You're afraid to go too far, and that keeps you confined here. But after you get past the fear thing, you can go pretty much anywhere. Everything works at the speed of thought. If you think it, you can go there. The intention is a driving mechanism, so you want to really be clear on your intention, what you're intending to do, what the purpose of this is, where you're intending to go. That will dictate a lot of how your experience goes. This is a very quick overview. There's so many more techniques and tips and stuff that I can give you, but this is a very 60,000 foot overview of it, just to kind of give an example of what astral projection is versus remote viewing. Okay, so with astral projection, you're sort of taking your focused awareness from your physical body and placing it in this astral body, and then you're free from the physical restraints, and now you can move anywhere you want in the astral world, which is basically the entire, what I call mind space of the universe. Okay, so that's a lot of fun. That's mainly for exploring purposes. It's more subjective. It's more of a personal experience. You're doing it for the experience, for personal development, and for fun and for exploration. So that's that. Remote viewing is way more objective. You are viewing an objective location or person or place or thing or an event, right? It's not your personal experience. This is a thing that exists in the world. And you're going there typically for information gathering purposes. And the way remote viewing typically works, there's a lot of different protocols, but a pretty standard way is you'll have like a thing, a person, place, or event or whatever that you want to remote view. And then to make sure it's blind and that the person doesn't know what the target is, you will take like a triangle or some sort of a symbol or a letter or coordinates, right? And you will entangle that. You will sync that through intention. The person organizing it will sync whatever the target is with like a color or a shape or something like that, right? So then the remote viewer is going to be remote viewing that. So say it's a triangle, and say the triangle is entangled or synced with like a building in New York City. So as I'm remote viewing this triangle, I have no idea what the target actually is. I'm just remote viewing the triangle, but that triangle is entangled with the actual physical target. So then I start getting sense data come in, and I'm in a lighter meditative state because you don't want to be too deep in. Like with astral travel, we're in a state what we call mind awake, body asleep, where you want your body to be out. So you're not like actually acting out and moving around as you're, astral projecting, but you want your mind to be lucid. When you're remote viewing, you want your mind to be lucid and you want your body to be semi-coherent because you're actually going to be taking notes and making scribbles and stuff. Because as you're remote viewing this, in this case, this triangle, that's entangled with this building in New York City, you're going to start getting sense data in. You're going to start saying, okay, I see metal and I see shiny squares. Those would be the windows. And I hear people talking, and you start getting all this data and you start scribbling it down. Don't engage it. Just scribble. Write down notes. Anything you see, hear, smell, feel, any intuitive downloads, any sensory data at all. Write it all down. Don't engage it. Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Then afterwards, you can analyze the data, or somebody else in the experiment will analyze the data and figure out if you hit the target or not. And then you learn from this. You say, okay, maybe I didn't get the target right, but I did get this part right. And you can sort of fine tune and hone your ability to do remote viewing. So remote viewing is basically just, you're just reading the information field, understanding that everything's information, the whole universe, and that this particular information for, like, in this case, this building is entangled with this symbol, which would be a triangle. So you're remote viewing the triangle, and then so that it's blind, so you don't know what the target is. And then you start getting this data in, you write it down, and then you see in the end if the data you got actually matches the target. Okay, that in a very simple nutshell is how remote viewing works. There's all these different protocols, different ways you can do it, and I'm sure people have hard opinions on this. That's just a very 60,000-foot view. So you can see the difference between remote viewing and astral projection is with astral projection, you can go to these places and freely move around them and experience them. It's more of a subjective, experiential type of a, of an experience. Whereas remote viewing, you're basically viewing, for lack of better words, just getting the sensory data in from a person, place, or thing or event without really engaging it or experiencing it. You're just reading the information field and then documenting that information. So that's kind of the biggest difference. I mean, there is a lot of overlap, and there is ways to do these like kind of hybrid methods where you are remote viewing and you kind of start off remote viewing and it kind of turns into a more of an astral travel experience. There's all sorts of flavors and variations, but at its core, that's kind of remote viewing versus astral projection. There's not really right or wrong. They're just used for different purposes and different ways. Anybody can do both of them. This is a natural innate ability that every single person has. There actually is something that's referred to as beginner's luck, where usually people doing it for the first time actually have tremendous success before they start really analyzing what's happening, because you're just like going into it blind. You're like, oh, this probably won't even work. Then it works and you're like, what the fuck? And then you start really analyzing it, and then you usually sabotage your own natural ability. So go give it a shot, because you'd be amazed at how easy it is for most people to do on the first time, because this is a natural, innate ability that everybody has. And it really will open your mind and blow your mind as far as like what reality is and what our, capabilities are. You're far more powerful than you know. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are on all this, and have a beautiful day. Peace.